Hello, everybody. I am coming on today to talk about this full moon that is approaching, happening on the 21st of July around 6:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, this full moon is really powerful because, well, all moons are powerful, but this one in particular because it's conjunct Pluto. Pluto, our favorite dwarf planet, is really coming in to pull so much of that unconscious material to the forefront for us to recognize, acknowledge, feel, and transmute. So, Pluto's nature is to transform, it's to have us go through a transfiguration. We will change states. We will be the caterpillar, the goo, and the butterfly. And each state is important. Each state that we go through, each part of our journey has a medicine and has a power. And if we try to avoid it, if we try to deny it, if we try to skip over it, we're never going to get our big, beautiful, glorious wings. We're never going to be able to take flight. We're never going to be able to manifest our dreams. So, these parts are really important. We cannot run away from what makes us feel uncomfortable. We cannot run away from the things that feel challenging. We can't run away because we owe it to ourselves to be able to step more into our power. Pluto is going to bring us into our most dynamic soul power. And the only way to get to our soul power is to see what's taking us out of our soul power, what's leaking us, what's draining us, where are we aligned, what are we committed to. If we're committed to the story of like everything sucks for me, if we're committed to that wound, if we're hiding behind those places in us that feel unworthy, then yeah, we're going to continue to manifest that. But when we're committed to our growth, when we're committed to our abundance, when we're committed to our health and our happiness and our beauty, then we will also manifest that. But we're going to have to see what's been in the way of that free flowing stream, that like beautiful water, the vitality. We have to see what's been blocking us from that the entire time. So Pluto can be quite intense. I think that's one of the words to describe Pluto is intensity. You may be feeling intense right now. You may be feeling like a rush of emotions coming to the surface. You may be looking around and being like, oh, fuck, like, how do I process all of this? What do I do? And I would say that's good. It means that you're no longer in the unconscious state. You're not in the denial state. And that's a really powerful place to be. So Pluto is going to really polarize us. This polarization is going to happen internally and it's going to happen externally. As we're seeing in the world, there's so much polarization going on, this side versus this side. We fight each other. This is all also happening inside of us. This internal conflict where we have this and we have this, and they don't agree and they don't align, and so they fight. And we can only fight ourselves for so long before we either like get sick or we collapse, or it's just not going to work. We can't stay in this internal conflict because the conflict is going to keep us from moving. If you've got yourself sitting in your seat of your chariot and you've got a horse A and horse B and they're wanting to go different ways or they're fighting, you're going to end up going nowhere. You're going to feel stuck. You're going to feel confused. You're going to completely be stagnant. And these places where we find conflict or we find cognitive dissonance, even, these are powerful places for us. And they're not to be avoided because you're eventually going to have to deal with it at some point. Whatever you're going through right now, you're going to eventually have to deal with it and probably multiple layers of it. So might as well, sink into where you are now. It's going to be really important for you to see those polar opposite sides, as almost every single one of us has had some type of trauma, some type of abuse, some type of thing that came in and told us we weren't good or we weren't enough or like we're lacking or we're never going to make it. Something that's like pushed us down, beat us up. And from that place, we had to create a persona, a coping mechanism, an identity to be able to carry that with us. But the kicker is, none of that was ours to begin with. None of that was ours to begin with. And the more we try to find the solutions or dig down into that wound, the more we're just causing the wound to stay open. So you have to know, as we're in this polarization, splitting kind of energy, what is yours? What are you responsible for? And what do you no longer need to carry? You know, we're passing through the eye of the needle. We're going through the gateway. We're going through this huge shift, this transformation, this transfiguration. And a lot of that old stuff, it can't come with us because it's not going to allow you to bring in everything that you've been calling towards. If you're calling to success, if you're calling to love and partnership and money and abundance and joy and happiness and creation, well, you're not going to be able to have that running those old programs, running that old paradigm, thinking bad thoughts about yourself, like always staying in worry, always staying in lack and catastrophizing the future. It's just not going to work. What maybe once worked for you, worked for me, worked for us, isn't working anymore, as every single tool can become a block. You know, everything that once helped us can eventually hurt us. All medicines can eventually become poisons. That's the magic of Medusa. That's the magic of Pluto. Really, it's like anything can become in excess. Pluto can also be extremes and excess. So, you know, where are you draining out your energy? Where are you in excess that maybe you don't need to be in excess? Where are you in lack where maybe you don't need to be in lack? How can you redirect your attention and your focus and your internal commitment to what you want in life? Everything else doesn't really need to be any of your business. All of the rest maybe doesn't need to be your responsibility. If you're thinking all day, like, why are they doing this to me? Why is my partner not giving me what I need? Why are my parents not listening to me? Why are these people not doing what I want them to do? That's really like, that's their work. That's their work. And what you need to recalibrate and readjust to is, how can I be more committed to my worth? How can I be more committed to my power? How can I be more committed to my growth and have the appropriate boundaries that I need to be able to be fully committed to my vision, to my dream, to my soul? Your soul does not want you sitting in a lack mentality. And the reason Pluto digs everything up and brings it to the surface is because it's either going to be unconscious ruling your life, or you're going to have to see what it is so that you can actually transmute it. We cannot let go of things that we're not aware of. You're not going to be able to just, I release it, if you don't know what it is. It has to be acknowledged. And the appropriate attention needs to be placed in the appropriate places. So, you know, what are you taking responsibility for? Are you like trying to figure out why you were bad? Are you trying to figure out why you suck? Are you trying to figure out why people are hurting you? Well, you know, not all of that is for you. How about you redirect the attention back to the larger vision, as Pluto is, you know, out in the outer realms of our solar system, a dwarf planet. It's not the farthest thing, but it is further than a lot of the other planets that we work with. So it, you know, it's further out, it's a larger vision, it's a bigger soul's container. And what has your soul been focused on? Bring it back to that vision, bring it back to that purpose, bring it back to that mission. And all the other things need to fall away, because it's really draining, it's really draining the energy. So we've got Pluto and the full moon coming together right in between the cusp of Sagittarius and Capricorn, kind of right there where they meet together, as we're working with a whole zodiacal wheel of moving energy. It's not separated, it's not isolated, it's all moving and it's all connected. So with Sagittarius, we've got this kind of like search for truth, for like a bigger truth, and Sagittarius connecting into our most ancient ancestor, Pablo Sag. So really searching for the truth of something that goes beyond this life, beyond the generations that of your mother and father and grandparents and great grandparents. There's something more. There's something more. There's a greater truth. You existed before you came in to this earthly incarnation, and whatever you were taught as a child, that's not all you are. And a lot of it isn't even what you are anyways. What we were taught as children, from our parents, from our teachers, from our preachers, from society, a lot of that isn't even us. So as that melts away, as Pluto brings it up and you acknowledge it and you transmute it, you're able to see something beyond, a deeper truth, something that you have always had with you in your soul that transcends time and space, because your soul is non-locational. It's with you through all lives. So we've got that Sagittarius energy searching for that truth in the beyond, the truth in the unknown, the truth that goes greater and wider than anything that we can kind of imagine. And then we've got Capricorn, this energy that wants to build something new. Like, okay, if I search for the truth, if I know the truth, then I can move forward, then I can know where I want to go. You're not going to know where you want to go if you don't know where you don't want to go. So it's like, where are you going, and what place are you coming from? What's your motivation? Where are you sitting? Are you sitting on your throne, or are you giving the keys or the reins over to somebody else? Capricorn is also going to bring in that element of the great deluge as it connects to the ancient god Enki, the great flood. All of us went through a great deluge. We've gone through this like time of amnesia, of forgetting who the fuck we are, and we spend our whole lives trying to like wonder like why people did XYZ, when really it's time to be like, who am I? Why am I? What am I here to do? What am I committed to? And how am I going to make that happen? We have to stop committing so much to the lack. A lot of us are way too committed to the lack. We're way too committed to the pain. We're way too committed to like controlling other people. And it's really time for us to go deeper into our soul mission. Pluto is all about the soul. It's all about the power. And when you're able to unlock all of that, Pluto's the riches, the lord of the underworld, Hades, has all the gold, all the coins, all the jewels. You'll be able to turn all of that into nutrient-rich compost that will support you beyond time and space. So this full moon is a big one. We've got a lot of solar activity going on. A lot of light is coming into the planet, and I know y'all, if you haven't heard me say before, we are made of star materials. Our bones, our blood, and our DNA are comprised of the same fundamental elements that were birthed in the bellies of the stars. All of the stories, all of the mythology, it's all in the stars shining down on us and inside of us. And when we are able to go into the deep mythos, when we're able to go into that deep unconscious, we can untangle the knots and see beyond just what we've been told. Like a lot of the Greco-Roman mysteries, that has a lot to do with like colonization, and there are stories beyond. Medusa is not just a demon whore, she is a triple moon goddess. Lilith isn't just some queen of the demons, she is the great earth mother. So you have to realize, just like these beings, you have a story that goes beyond that knot of pain. You have an existence, you've got a magic, you've got a purpose that goes beyond just the trauma and the abuse that you've gone through in this life and in other lives. And really now is the time for us to face it bravely and have courage and be dedicated to ourselves. Like, we are worth that. And that's how we change everything. If every single one of us does that, the whole world has no other option but to change, because we are creating that. Change the internal world, change the outer world. Go in to go out, go down to go up. You gotta do the shadow work that comes with Pluto, because in the darkness is your greatest light. So I wanted to keep it short today. I have so many things that I could say, but for a digestible purpose, I'm just keeping it 15 minutes today. If you want to work with me, if you want to connect with me, you can send me a message. You can find me on the streaming platforms I am on here, or you can email me at veroneoracle@gmail. I'm sending all of y'all so many blessings. Go for a walk, move your body, breathe through it, meditate. You can do this because this is why we're here. All right. Blessings. Bye.